Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to what I don't even remember what my show is called anymore. I've been away for so long. Welcome back to Mythgard in Middle Earth with the Tolkien Professor. My name is Corey Olson, and I am joined, as always, by my friend Gryfflet, who's been peacefully warming himself by this pelvis fire for the last few weeks as we've been busy doing other things. So, of course, I was down at Mythmoot, which was awesome, where the Lotro Maven graduated, as I see several of you were just talking about, which was very awesome. And of course, we had some fun there. I got to see Northern Mirkwood for the first time I've ever really traveled through Northern Mirkwood. And then we went, it was actually, I have to say, it was kind of cool just kind of connecting the Bjorning homestead, right? Being able to run to the Bjorning homestead and run away was kind of fun. Anyway, so Gryfflet's back and ready to keep going. So we are in the caves here with our not very helpful friend who keeps withholding from us the crucial information about what, in fact, he's here to study. So I gotta collect flowers in an attempt to try to bribe him into, telling me what he's studying, I guess. So anyway, I'm gonna do that. Yeah. It's true. I did cosplay as Eminem during the during Mythmoot. That was especially fun. Let's see. And just to give some, I know there were a bunch of people who sort of saw that and were like, I don't understand. I gave a talk on the prosody of Eminem, looking at his rhyme scheme and sort of the overall poetic shape of his lyrics, because it's amazing. Just really incredible, actually. It's one of the things that I am extremely fascinated by just now. I have sort of discovered for myself. I mean, I'm not saying I'm the first one to discover this. I've sort of discovered hip hop as an art form and am just enthralled by it. I've been kind of wondering what happened to, poetry in the 20th and 21st century, because I don't like much modern poetry. But of course I found out what happened to it. And that is, it is alive and well within the rap genre. So anyway, I have been really enjoying studying that, and Eminem is just completely amazing. One of the most. It's hard, because I'm not trying to, in talking about Eminem, I'm not trying to. I know that a lot of people are not at all comfortable with Eminem, and I totally understand why. And I'm not saying that I approve of all the stuff that he says and talks about. All I'm saying is that he is one of the greatest linguistic geniuses I've ever studied, barring none. I mean, in the English language. It's amazing. But anyhow, so that's what I was giving my talk about. And so, we have whoa, how close was that? Holy cow. Almost fell into the river and died. Anyway, so, we always have our masquerade ball at the, on the last night of Mythmoot. And I don't usually dress up. I'm not a big dressing up person. I don't cosplay as a rule. I'm not saying I have a rule against cosplaying. I'm just saying I don't normally do it. But I have been dressing up at the masquerade ball every year so far, and so I dressed up as Eminem this year because I was giving my talk. Plus, have to admit, it was a super easy costume to do. That was the other thing that really drew me towards it. I was like, oh man, I can dress up as the subject of, the lecture that I'm giving and, just wear like a white t-shirt and a black hoodie. No problem. Ethelod, Weird Al Yankovic's White and Nerdy is complete genius. Look, Weird Al Yankovic is one of the other great literary figures of the 20th century in my mind. I have to say that his parody of Eminem's Lose Yourself, which, right, is like theoretically, this place where two of the greatest geniuses in the music industry come together, so much potential there. I have to admit, I'm disappointed by Weird Al's Lose Yourself parody. I don't think it's not what it could be. It's nothing like White and Nerdy, for instance. White and Nerdy is a fantastic. Not only does he really nail things like the rhyme scheme and everything, but he gets the way that he parodies the rhythms and everything there. It's just pretty awesome. So I'm a huge fan of that. It's one of my favorite Weird Al songs ever, actually, the White and Nerdy. JJ, I have heard his Hamilton polka. It's very good. I mean, I like Weird Al's polkas. That is, I should say, I'm amused by Weird Al's polkas, but as someone who is, I think that music people will kind of get and appreciate Weird Al's polkas better. I mean, I'm amused by many of them, but of course, my focus, like my area of specialty, is the words, and the lines, so yeah, I don't. Oh, I got them all. Sweet. Anyway, yeah. So I don't. I can't comment as much on the polka thing. I thought his Hamilton polka was funny, but of course it's not a parody, right? It's not one of his linguistic parodies, I should say. So oh, Druid's Fire, you saw that? I'm actually seeing Weird Al backed by a Philharmonic next week, actually. His Strings Attached tour, which I assume is what you went to. Yeah, he's going to be in New Hampshire next week, so my family's going to see him. I'm super excited. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, no, yeah. Weird Al's great. As I said, his Lose Yourself parody, it disappoints me because and this is hard. I mean, he doesn't nail the rhyme scheme. He kind of sort of makes fun of the rhyme scheme, but without himself really getting it and nailing it. And that's the thing that makes so many of Weird Al's parodies so wonderful, is when he does like all the, he can like kind of do the things that the original artist does really well, but like turn them and make fun of them at the same time. And he instead, it's a very, very much more simplified and simplistic version of Eminem's rhymes that he that he uses. So I'm like, it's like, I don't know, B-, something like that. But anyway, cool. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean just to chat about Eminem and Weird Al but Ethelod, you were asking about an analysis of White and Nerdy. Oh man, I could talk about that song forever. Not forever, but for quite a long time. It is a genius example. And of course, I also have to admit that the more gangster rap I listen to, the more I appreciate Amish Paradise, which is not a perfect song, but it's really, really good. I just love the concept of Amish Paradise more than anything else. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I've been listening to a great deal of rap music lately. I'm going through like not all of rap music, but like all the greatest hits of, all the greatest, like all the albums by all the top artists of hip hop for the last 40 years to, gotta immerse myself in the genre if I want to really make some arguments about it. And I'm up to 1987 now, so I'm doing okay. All right, let's see. What do you got for me, Isteron? Okay, these are just Glister Shade. They're not the ones that you want. Okay, fine. You're such a jerk. Their only special property is that they glow. They do absolutely nothing else. Well, that seems special. What's wrong with you? Okay. I'm not using the name Underwall for these tunnels, and you think I should. Okay, so you're going to insist on nomenclature. Look, I will submit to your nomenclature if you will tell me what on earth you're looking for. I can call these flowers glowers if I want. No, that's a terrible name, Isteron. Your nomenclature is terrible. Okay. You determine where the orcs come from. They're from Moria. Okay. They came by following a trail of some kind. Right. I don't know what they were following, but it sounds like they skirted some elf woods. Okay, great. This has to be the golden wood you've heard so much about. Great. Okay, it's only right that these orcs be sent back to Moria. I'm supposed to find an underworld captain and send a message to his underlings. Really? Okay, fine. Phil, you think he's rhyming glowers with flowers? He can't be. No way. He just said they glow. The only thing they do is they glow, so they've got to be glowers, right? I mean, if he's going to call them glowers, then he's even worse than I think he is. Okay. So, interesting. I think, did we already observe that? I think we did, from the banners, right? I mean, like, all he has to do is look at their insignia, which he's put up everywhere, and he'd be able to notice that. But right, so we have, because of course the Misty Mountain goblins are the ones who are least, well, I shouldn't say goblin because it means something different in Lotro, but they, let's see, where's a captain? I'm looking for, he's got to be up the hill here, past all the underlings. There he is. Ooh, nice little totem there. Is that a bat totem? Hey, Mr. Underworld Captain. And you're looking charming as well, I would just like to point out. What kind of animal head is that? Wolf? Bear? Not sure what to make of it. We got the rib cage. I like the little skull in the middle of his chest, which presumably, like a skull decoration on a skeleton, is kind of fun. And, okay. Yeah, I think the wings are meant to suggest bat wings, what with these, like, the ribbing that we get here, right? So I think this is supposed to be like a giant bat totem, which is fun, which is great. I like it. It does kind of look like a bear. He's fairly ugly himself. I have to talk to him? Why can't I just stab him from behind? Like a civilized burglar. Fine. I led you on a pretty chase? You were chasing me? You were right to abandon your wizard on the bridge. Oh, I see. You have mistaken me for someone else. Here, oh, here, sorry, guys. I'll do this thing that you like me to do. Okay. I was right. Yeah, you would have died with him if you had stayed and fought instead of running away and hiding in the elf woods. Okay. Love the... Okay, right. Got that. Love the sort of continuity there. Of course, he would think that I'm one of the Fellowship. Why shouldn't he? But Cool. Yeah. So, anyway, I think I remember observing this before, but I like these caves. I like that we have these caves here because, of course, it makes perfect sense. We know that the orcs from Moria were really uncomfortable being out in the sunshine. I remember Ugluk and the other Uruk Hai making fun of them for that reason during the Uruk Hai chapter. So we know that but we do know that they came down. The movements of the orcs, we know that there are orcs from Moria, orcs from Mordor, and Uruk Hai from Isengard, all involved in that gang of orcs that is running across Rohan with Merry and Pippin. But we're not given within the narrative of The Lord of the Rings a very clear account of how all of the different ones got to where they got, right? So I really like how we can here kind of untangle these different threads, right? So we've got the orcs of Moria who went around Lothlorien, and then picked up the trail down below and have been hunting for the Fellowship down here, right? And this has led them to the Parth Galen area where they're going to meet up with the others. And of course, since they don't like daylight, they would find if they're going to be here in any, they would be looking for caves. They'd be looking for underground spots everywhere they could possibly find them, right? So if they found a set of caves like this, they would certainly inhabit, camp here in a heartbeat. Okay. Oh, hey, thanks. You don't know what he was talking about? I know what he was talking about. Let's see, you don't need anything else? Okay. And you're just not going to tell me, huh? Let's see. Inquisitive Lore Master's hat? No. Let's see. Treasured shoulder pads? Really? And steel gloves of the first age. That's heavy armor. Okay, whatever. I think I'm not going to actually wear these, so whatever. Okay. Okay, let's see. I should go to Hestel's camp and see if I can help. Oh, I'm sure they have lots of fascinating problems I can help them with, too. Okay, fine. Yes, Lilith, they're not like trolls. The Moria orcs don't die in sunlight. They just, yes, they very strongly dislike it. I'm trying to remember what's the description in The Hobbit about their knees going all wobbly and that kind of thing. Yeah, no, they are weakened by the sunlight, and they are afraid of the sunlight, but they are not destroyed by the sunlight. Okay. So I need to find his friends, and I need to find, most importantly, the Dead Orc Glade. So that is... Where is that cunningly concealed on my map? There it is. All right. Except it's labeled Dead Orc Glade. Apart from the label, it's cunningly concealed on the map. Okay. All right. I'm going to head down there. Let's see if I can find a shortish lore question to attempt to answer. Let's see. Where are we? Here we go. All right. Let's see. Okay, Madman Modeler was asking me before, speaking of stone giants, do I prefer how they're portrayed in the movie or in the game? That's easy. Game, definitely. So the... how far down are we going? Far enough. Yeah, easy. So the stone giants in the Hobbit films, right, are depicted as giants made out of stone, right? as if like the classic, like, you're walking on what you think is a mountain, but it turns out to be a giant instead. Hey, look, there's an elf arrow sticking out of this tree. I gotta check that out. Okay, an arrow of elf make. Where did the mysterious friend go? Oh, yeah. I gotta ask about that arrow. It's one kind of awkward thing, right? When, like, you know a lot more than your character knows, right? I mean, I'm pretty sure I know why there's an elf arrow sticking into a tree right around here. But it's all right. Okay. So let's see. The orc glade somewhere. Anyway, so yeah. I'm not saying that the way they're depicted in the Hobbit film is like completely absurd. It's not completely absurd. It's a little bit absurd, but it's not completely absurd. That is to say, there's a robust tradition behind that kind of thing. Like, you mistake the mountain for, you mistake a giant for a mountain, right? Like that's a thing in story tradition. But it's definitely not what Tolkien had in mind. I cannot imagine that the giants that he had in mind weren't like giants, regular giants, giant fairy tale giants, essentially. Why are they called stone giants? Because they chuck stones. Like, why wouldn't you call them stone giants? So, yeah, I kind of, I would certainly expect his giants to look more Norse than anything else. More like Jack and the Beanstalk giants. Now he takes them out in the Lord of the Rings, so the game has gone ahead and included giants of the type that probably he was talking about in The Hobbit. And that's fine. I mean, Tolkien didn't include giants in the Lord of the Rings. The fact that they never get mentioned doesn't itself prove that there aren't any, and certainly his work in The Hobbit suggests that he was okay in general with the concept of giants, even though they never make their way in. As I've said before, the absence of giants in the Lord of the Rings is, to me, the anomaly. Like, what has always seemed to me a little bit weird, that there aren't giants in the Lord of the Rings. It feels like there should be. But anyway. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Phil says, did he take them out or simply avoid the area where they might have been? Well, see, exactly. I mean, you can't build all you can do is argue from absence, right? No giants are described, and the only time a giant is talked about, namely by Sam at the Green Dragon in the Fellowship of the Ring, when he talks about these tree men, these giants, and giant, like Jack and the Beanstalk giant, is clearly what Sam means when he says tree men, not ent. He's not talking about a walking tree. He's talking about a giant that was seen in the North Farthing, which of course may turn out to be an ent in truth, right? But nevertheless, when Sam says that, what he is talking about is a rumor of a giant. Anyway, so Phil, you're right. They're not mentioned, right? We don't see them. They're not discussed, but that doesn't absolutely prove that they're not in Middle-earth. All right, hang on. I think I'm going to have to get rid of you. Okay. Let's see. I've got a corpse of an Uruk here, but there's nothing I can do with him, so... Oh, here's a dude. I didn't see your quest ring. Your quest ring is like half buried in the ground, man. Hey there. Whoa. Funky. Do you have like a white marking on your chest that I can't see very well, or is that just the definition of your... No, because your hands are all dipped in white too. I'm guessing you're an Isengard guy, A little hard to make out, though. All right, sorry. Oh, we'll see who got whom, my friend. But anyway, okay, let's see. I must be a friend of his, the one who did this. You'll make me a deal. Find one of your kind and take a bladder of grog from him. So you want some grog, huh? And then you'll tell me what happened. Okay. A quest for fortifying grog. Oh, okay, Mr. Hound. Sorry, I was trying to leave you alive, but, you know, you didn't make it easy there. Okay. Let's see. Oh, this... I assumed that this Uruk would have some grog. Okay. Never mind. This is pretty impressive. Did Boromir kill all these dudes? I mean, I guess Mary might have taken out a couple. Do any of them... So, let's see. I'd be super impressed if any of these... Also, look how friendly the deer are around here. That's very nice. If, like, a couple of these corpses had their hands cut off, I'd be, like, even more impressed than usual. But I know that might be asking really kind of a lot. I'm, like, searching the slain for handless orcs. Because they would totally... I mean, they very likely have bled out, right? After Mary took their hands. Well, blood stain on a tree. Oh, this is the very tree that Boromir leaned up against. Find a veteran of many battles. Okay. And grog. Oh, man. Whoa. Oh, I just have to kill any orc and... Oh, I gotta find a living orc and take their grog. I thought I was searching the slain here. You have grog? No. What? From an Uruk. You're not an Uruk. Oh, man. Gotta find an Uruk. And I gotta find a veteran of many battles. There you go. There's an Uruk. See, I would burgle much more if by burgling I could steal quest items. See, Madman Model, I knew you were going to say that. If I could steal quest items, I would pickpocket all the time. All the time. But I can't. So, you know, I got things to do. Did I get the grog? Oh, man, he didn't drop the grog? Of all the useless Uruks. Oh, that's a really good suggestion, JJ. JJ thinks that the deer is so peaceful there just because he's tired from having slain all those orcs. The bloodlust of the deer has been sated. Yeah, very plausible. Very plausible. Okay. Let's see. Looking for another Uruk. Oh, come on, man. For real? Oh, there's an Uruk. Nice. Found some. All right, here's some grog. Whoa. A glowing Mordor orc. What's up with him? Why is he glowing? They meant to do that? Is he being buffed by somebody? Weird. Yeah, who's buffing him? Weird. Anyway, I'll be sneaking over here. All right. Yeah, I want to hear what happened. You were lying here, cut down in battle and left for dead, and an orc came running by and just reached down and stole your purse. Oh, seriously? Get your gold back. Oh. That's okay. I really want to hear your story, though, so, so I'll do it. And let's see, who else do we need here? The bloodstained tree. The same thing as the arrows of elf make. Right? No, arrows of elf make. I gotta back up to the Argonath. Man, same as Easter on friends or close to it. Okay, and I'm gonna go back to Wilfirth too. Well, let's finish what I can here. JJ says they were going to add a playable deer race, but testing proved them too OP. I hear that. I hear that. Let's see. Let's see. He would have gone for higher ground, said my friend. Oh, more elf arrows. No, don't need to click on that. They'll just give me the same quest. Distinctive orc scavenger, huh? Alright, here, I'll try it. Okay, so I got a Celebrant salve, but that just, like, doesn't help me. I mean, it would be so slick if I could just come up behind these people, pickpocket the quest item I need, and go away without killing them, right? That would be so much better. To have the option, I mean, the burglar, if anybody, should have the option of completing some of these quests totally without combat. That would be cool. Oh, well. I dig non-combat options, is all I'm saying. Okay. Okay, alright. That orc now knows that Zurluk can reach even from the grave for his vengeance. Okay. Alright, now you'll tell me. Fantastic. Okay. May it rot my inwards slowly. Great. Okay. It will bring me no comfort if I'm his friend. Okay. I was with Ugluk's company of Isengarders, and my orders were to capture halflings. Halflings like me! Great! Alive, unspoiled, and unsearched it was. I asked no questions, and no one with a brain would have either. Orders was orders. If I did not these injuries, I would bring you back to the tower myself, but it's not to be. Filthy maggot, a blight on all the halflings. Oh, I'm the filthy maggot, right. You found 2 of the little worms. They did, and stabbed at us. Killed some of us not far from here, but some of the boys picked them up. They struggled, but they had no strength. We made it to this glade when... Uh-oh. Coughing fit. Hang on. Come on. Keep going. He came charging out of the trees. A man possessed. His sword whirling around him in a wide arc. We had to fight. He killed many of us, and we had to retreat. We doubled back on him as he made his way down the hill, and in the company of many archers. Many archers. Wait. You had many archers? Must be what you meant. They're getting the details right. Like, he did drive them off, and then they came back. That's how it's described. He gave me this gash across my belly. I pretended to be dead. The warrior did not last much longer than that. He was still alive when his friends arrived, but... Alright, he still has enough. Oh no, he's looking at me slyly. This warrior had friends with him, but they arrived too late to save him. Another man, an elf, and a dwarf. They were preparing to carry the warrior away when Uruk's boys circled round and slew them all. The elf loosed all of his arrows, see them all around, and the dwarf killed many, but it was no use. They joined their friend in death. Oh, man. Oh, that's terrible. Oh. Okay. I believe him implicitly. I really do. Okay, so let's see. I think I need to... Where's the veteran of many battles? Alright, I think I'm going to go back to Will first. Okay. Let's see. Alright. We get another lore question while I head up. So many. Big backlog. Let's see. Let's see. Squirrel, not sure how you pronounce it, asked, how resistant are hobbit feet to things such as thorns and caltrops? Interesting question, because of course, hobbits being... All right, Mr. Buffed Uruk, I'm just going to leave you in the dust if that's okay with you. Hobbit feet, of course, you know, hobbits go around bare feet all the time, or so the traditional lore suggests. Would they have a problem? You know, would their feet be tough enough? The only thing that is said about this is that line in The Hobbit where it says that they have tough, leathery soles, which was at one point, according to Tolkien's letters, he found misprinted feathery soles, which he found rather alarming. But anyway, yes, they have tough, leathery soles of their feet. One thing that I will say in general, and this is something that kind of disappoints a lot of people, the barefoot hobbits is something that fans have like totally latched onto, right? People just love the barefoot hobbit concept. And so, you know, I've heard people being like, so hobbits will never wear shoes. No hobbit would ever wear shoes. And they totally, yeah, JJ, the real answer is that they wear boots in rough terrain. Bilbo is depicted wearing boots. This comes up explicitly when Tolkien paints his image of Bilbo in the eyrie, in the eagle's eyrie. And you can see him kind of reclining there in the foreground, and he's clearly, yeah, exactly, as Ethelod was saying, he's clearly depicted wearing boots. Now, he was queried about that, because you'll remember that those illustrations appeared in the American edition of The Hobbit, and he got letters from people saying, hey, hang on a second, I thought that hobbits didn't wear shoes. And his response was, oh yeah, I neglected to mention that Bilbo picked up a pair of boots in Rivendell, right? So that tells you two things, that hobbits normally in the Shire don't wear shoes. This is of course corroborated by the fact that in the Concerning Hobbits prologue of the Fellowship of the Ring, we're told that shoe making, like, you know, cobblery is one of the few crafts that's not practiced widely among them, right? So you know, where am I going the wrong way? Not quite yet, but I almost, but did not quite miss the turnoff here. Anyway, so it does seem fairly clear that your average hobbit on the average day in the Shire does not in fact wear shoes, and that is a very standard thing. However, it seems to be equally sort of accepted that they do wear boots on journeys, right? So they're when they're going to be, where there are blades and rocks and snow and things like that, they wear boots. So I think that the fact of the matter is we should actually imagine the 4 hobbits in the Fellowship wearing boots, at least from Rivendell onwards. Do they maybe take off their boots at some times? Probably, but hobbit feet do not appear to be, in fact, invulnerable to the elements, invulnerable to all possible difficulties that they could experience. So would hobbit, the leathery soles of a hobbit foot, would they be proof against like caltrops and things? No, they wouldn't be. They would wear boots if they were in a place where caltrops might be thrown down in front of them. So JJ, it's doubtful that they would wear wooden shoes for that. Doubtful. Yeah, exactly, Madman Motto, where it's one thing in the kindly environs of the Shire and another thing altogether in the wild areas beyond. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Likely Abad asks, says Frodo's feet were bare when he was crossing the stream in front of the doors of Moria, though. Possibly. See, again, if they had boots, would they wear them all the time? I don't know. Did Tolkien just double down on the bootless hobbit thing in The Lord of the Rings? He doesn't talk about it very much, right? But again, if they're going to be going through and around water, it also makes sense that the hobbits would be quick to take off their boots and go barefoot. Like, they're barefoot, they're clearly barefoot as well when they go across the Nimrodel, but again, like, makes sense, right? That if they were wearing boots, they would take them off. So Tolkien doesn't give us that level of detail. The hobbits wear boots sometimes theory in that we can see that was clearly at least part of Tolkien's initial conception in The Hobbit. Frankly, makes more sense to me than like the idea that the hobbits walking in like several feet of snow in Carathras were still barefoot at the time. Exactly, Katriana. We were just thinking the same thing. So yes, I do. For that reason, I do incline to believe that the Fellowship and the hobbits of the Fellowship were in fact wearing boots most of the time. Though again, I know like the idea of the barefoot hobbit is something that is dearly loved by fans, and most people are unwilling to let that idea go. But it's fine. Like, so if you want to picture them being barefoot the whole time and imagine them just having like, totally weatherproof feet. Okay, I mean, it doesn't explicitly say that's not true. So yes, and yes, they are furry, but I doubt as furry as that. Anyway, like I said, you can totally think that if you like. It just doesn't make that much sense to me, but that's okay. Okay, let's see. Not at all like the arrows used by orcs. This arrow was made within the Golden Wood within Lothlorien. I know whose arrow this is, but I will not speak his name in the open. He did not loose this arrow for practice or to test its flight. He fired it at a foe. Right, it's got blood on it. Okay. Why did he leave the arrow behind? It is still intact and could be used again. What spurred him to leave with such haste he could not collect it or leave if he did? Oh, I love your secondary conclusions, Corridon. That's fantastic. Danger. Is it a danger he survived? Okay, let's figure that out. Excellent. Very good. Strong work. Strong deductions there, Corridon. Yeah, exactly, Phil. No, it's clear that I think it's fairly clear that Frodo's feet are bare on the 2 occasions that we know him to be wading through water. But again, if you know you're going to be wading through water. Neither of those is a surprise. In neither of those instances, he suddenly dunked into water or something, or falls into it. And so I don't see any reason why a hobbit would not take his boots off when he knows he's going to be wading in water. Yes, JJ says that you've got a hairy head, yet you still wear a hat and scarf in snow. Right, exactly. The hair on your head does not make your head proof against the cold entirely. Okay. So that's a good question. Let's see. Where's the bloody camp? There it is. Okay, oh, excuse me, orcs. Pardon me. Not trying to cause any trouble. Already killed a bunch of you. Don't need any more trouble with the rest of you. All these searchers. Searching. Okay. Yes, good. Matt does point out that the hobbits of the East Farthing wore dwarf boots in muddy weather. Yes. Yes. Okay, Will Firth. Let me tell you about the bloodstained tree and everything. Interesting, huh? There was no body near the tree, no trail of blood leading from the base anywhere nearby. Our unknown warrior must have rested at the base of the tree after slaying the orcs. But where did our mystery warrior go? If he succumbed to his wounds, his body would remain. Did he survive, or did he have friends to bear his body away? Okay, that was less good. You stop short of any conclusions. Corridon is much more bold in his deductions than Wilfirth here. Okay, what glory. Some hero certainly left his mark on that place. More than a dozen dead Uruks? Yeah, well over a dozen. I would have liked to see our mystery friend in person. I think I've met him. Thank you for investigating that place. No problem. Tales of recent glory stir my heart. For Rohan. Great. Excellent, Will Firth. Okay. But to do the session play... I guess I'll have to go down to Parth Galen. See, Matt, I would think that dwarf boots is hyphenated just simply because those are things that the dwarves make, right? I mean, like, presumably it's not dwarf boots that Bilbo got in Rivendell, right? Okay. Going all the way down to Parth Galen. But yeah, there would be presumably something distinctive about them and different from other kinds of boots. But would they even have just like a normal term for boots, right? Or would those items, because they don't make them themselves, so would those items be something that they just associate from the dwarves, with the dwarves rather, because that's where they always get them. Anyway, all right, looking at questions. Let me look at a couple of questions that came in here today. Oh, good golly, let's see. Okay. Oof. Lilith. Good question, but complicated. So the question is about, in the Hobbit films, the endeavors of Gandalf and the White Council against Dol Guldur, etc., and which of those things are, have textual authority, and which of those things are added in for the films. So I think it would be a little simpler to approach this question from another direction. You are right, Lilith, you suggested in your question that, the graves of the Nazgul, the sort of the tombs of the Nazgul there, their prison, right, was made up. Yes, of course, they were never
captured or imprisoned. That's not a real thing. I think it's included in. I think it's included in the film just to connect the necromancer with Sauron, essentially. Not really sure. But anyhow, so in the book, we know the following. From the books, and by the books, I mean The Hobbit, The Lord of the Rings, and Unfinished Tales. We know the following things. Ooh, I don't need catch. No, that's different. We know the following things. We know that Gandalf became the White Council was suspicious of the real identity of the necromancer as his power began to grow in Mirkwood. Gandalf had a sinking feeling, and so he went to Dol Guldur by himself to check it out, and while he was there, discovered that the necromancer was really Sauron. He reports this back to Elrond and to the other members of the White Council. The White Council then gets together and decides what to do about it, and Saruman resists it for a time and says, "Yeah, well, no, let's wait and watch." And then later on, Saruman decides that they should, because he wants to remove Sauron from his proximity to the Gladden Fields, because he can see that Sauron and his minions are searching for the One Ring, and he knows what they're doing. So he joins with the White Council, green lights the expedition, and they go to Dol Guldur to drive out Sauron. We don't know anything about how that happened. It probably did not involve Galadriel turning green at any time, but they drive Sauron, but he only feigns to flee. This is a tactical withdrawal by Sauron, and he returns to Mordor at that time. So that's those are the facts of the matter as we know them. The difficult thing, of course, is that even those basic facts kind of change over time, right? And this is where, sorry, can't just gallop past a ruin, can you? Is this a tower? Where are we? Ooh, pretty far inland, but it's along the road. Where is this road? What is this road? Road up from Rohan through the east wall, and then up along the river. So this would still be part of the Gondorian road. I mean, presumably doesn't, since this is only a map of East Rohan here, it presumably doesn't show down. The road would continue south towards Gondor, right? Oops, hang on. Now let me continue going out and out one more. Yeah, it would be then going down along, because we know that there would have been a road from Gondor all the way up to, say, Parth Galen, where the Gondorian army had traveled to. So presumably the road would pass in through here. So this is, yeah. So this would be a tower to guard that road, the Gondorian road. I don't see any doors or anything. A watchtower, a beacon, not a beacon. Beacon surrounded by higher hills. It doesn't make any sense. You would have thought that doors might have been a feature that they would have wanted to include, but you can't have everything. Okay, sorry. Just trying to understand the strategic significance of that ruin in the larger picture. Ooh. Oh, see here for a second, I thought we were looking over cliffs, but no, I'm just being, my eyes are being deceived by the beautiful reflections. In Nenhithilil, there's backside of the Argonaut. And ooh, where's that tower? I didn't see that. That's clearly a watchtower meant to overlook the lake. And presumably they could see this road maybe as well. Looks like it matches this tower up ahead. I'm on hen. Oh, I think so. Oh, this is where I went up in the session play? Up that way? I will resist for now. Quests will probably take me up there. But okay, just looking. Oh, no, wait, I'm already on it. Oh, look, I'm halfway up. I'm on hen already. Right? Yeah. All right, I'll go down first. Yeah, I know. Quests will take me up there. I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. So I shall wind my way down. Find the camp. Get their quests. Explore them on hen. Parth Galen. Don't know that I'll get to the Boromir session play tonight. Okay. Hooray! Oh, a discarded pack. A grassy lawn of Parth Galen beneath Amon Hen. Hooray! The camp of Asterian's friends. Where's that pack that I found? I noticed a pack? Did I? Doesn't seem to be... I don't seem to see it. Yeah, delete key doesn't do that for me, Phil. I don't want to just pass up a discarded pack if it's sitting around. But I don't see it. Well, here. Where is that key? Well, can you tell me the name of the action so I can find it and map it to a useful key? What's the name of the action? I'm not using the Mac client, so where would it be? Not in any of the bajillion quick slots. All right, here we go. Selection. Select. What? Next item. Is this the one? No, nearest item. In theory, delete. Okay, or backspace, seeing as I don't have a delete key. Alright. Okay, it works now. I selected the tater. How about that? Oh, now I need next item. Honestly. Okay. I don't even remember what I have all mapped already. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, let's try that. No, I got nothing. Rittermark, Scarn, and Taters. That's all. Okay. There we go. See, adventures in key mapping. The pack is near to the camp. I just saw it from really far away. Oh, there it is. Yeah. My goodness, I did spot that from quite a distance. Oh, really? Nice. Okay. I'm going to skip everybody but the stable master. I love how there's this orc just like standing right here in full view of the camp. Okay. Oh, man. Oh, right. Those are all Eastamnet sites. I'm like, why have I not been anywhere? That's why. Okay. Great. I guess it won't do any harm just to meet them. Okay, you're a champion. Great. You came north with your friends in search of glory and coin, not necessarily in that sequence. You lost Cuillin. He was a minstrel. Okay. Your guardian was captured by orcs. Isteron wandered off. Yeah, I found him. All right. All right. I'm just supposed to talk to Hestil. Okay. Hey there, Isteron's friend. Okay. You ran into trouble not long after you left Cair Andros. These lands were supposed to be deserted, but now the orcs have poured across the river in great numbers, and your guardian got himself captured. Drawfully Broadshield. Okay. Best guardian you've ever known. Really? And perhaps Maidal. Frank, save some of us from time to time. Okay. Yes, let's not leave him to the torment of the orcs that have imprisoned him. I love it when we do this. I love it when we get quests which are parallel to, like, the game can't very well send us on the quest to go find Merry and Pippin, right? So what does it do? It creates a parallel situation where there's another companion of a different group who's been captured by orcs, but we can't leave him to the torment of the orcs, so we have to pursue him. I love it. Okay. Help Kufaran ready a new path for us to take. Convince Ramdir we're safe for now. Find Isteron and get his mind back where it belongs. And, find the burglar and help her come up with a plan to save Drawfully. Well, that doesn't seem too hard. All right, Kufaran. You're a hunter. Right. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of the new Mumakil. My friend Gryfflet told me, or my friend Wigan rather told me about those. Kufaran quickly shakes his head. Okay, no, you've not hunted them, but you saw one at a distance. Okay. There are a lot of vile dogs. They're quite evil. I should hunt them. Fine. I've seen a bunch of those. Shouldn't have to go too far out of my way. Now that I've got a quest for them, I'll probably see fewer, so that's great. Okay. Oh, Minas Ithil. Really? You identify yourself as being from Minas Ithil? How strange. You're seeking to keep the memory of the Tower of the Moon alive. Okay. Fine. Good. Let's see. Your goals are not precisely aligned. Right. Tall Brandir. Yeah. The Tindrak. You worry that an orc archer could do some hurt if he managed to make it a perch. Circle the Tindrak. Gladly. I'd love to explore that more. Okay. And Rodwin. Huh. Okay. Gotta find your sword. I love it when I've got to track down individual orcs and find the things that they stole. Okay. And I need to find my doll as well. Where are you? Up here? Oh, for real? You're up the cliff? I'm running out of time. I'm going to stop collecting quests, and I'm going to... and more looking at discarded packs. All right, discarded pack. Doesn't look like much. Let's do this. I love this session play. Parth Galen from Boromir's point of view. Frodo's servant, that halfling, and the other halfling. Excellent. The dwarf, the elf, Aragorn has a name. Which one is which? Which one's wearing gloves? Did they always look this identical, or did they only look this identical within this session play? I was pretty sure I could tell them apart before when I met them otherwise. I think I did do this as Frodo before. Pretty sure I did. Yeah. So the only one whose name Boromir, there are only two whose name register for Boromir here, right? And that is Aragorn, his captain, but also his rival, and Frodo, of course. I understand, but you know the words of Gandalf. Though there be strength in Minas Tirith, it is not a strength that will avail us in the matter of Frodo's burden. If this were a contest that could be won by strength of arms, I would readily agree to go at once to your city, but I fear it is not. When Frodo returns, he will give us his decision, and we will do what we can do to support him, will we not? Okay. Aragorn does not understand. My city needs the ring to survive. Interesting. So their interpretation of Boromir here is that Boromir is arguing that we should go to Minas Tirith because he already is thinking of the ring primarily as a weapon, as he was in the Council of Elrond. Right. So the interpretation of Boromir that the game is running on is that he never yielded. He appeared to yield his position at the council to Elrond, but he never truly has. He still believes that the ring should... So this is not merely like he is overcome by the ring when he's tempted by it, when he's confronting Frodo. He has still always kind of believed that. Yeah, JJ says they managed to capture Boromir exactly as I imagined him. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, I believe we should go to Minas Tirith, Boromir. If it came to a vote, that would be my decision. You have told us of the enemy's desire to destroy Minas Tirith, and I think that is where we are most needed. Interesting argument, Legolas. But you will stand with Frodo. Legolas doesn't seem to be thinking about the ring at all. Right? You know, he's just like, Okay, you know, we're needed at Minas Tirith. That's where the action's going to be, so let's go there. Like, hey, Legolas, do you remember there's a quest on? His arrows are nothing compared to the power of the ring. Yes, he wants to come down and help, but what help is he going to be able to give to Minas Tirith? That's not what Minas Tirith needs. All right. Okay. So we have Boromir, the very convinced that the ring must still be used as a weapon. Ooh. And we fast forward to finding Frodo. Oh, first and last name, huh? That's interesting. Rather formal. Does Frodo always look this swarthy? Is he a little shadowier or dirtier? Looks like he's been rolling in ashes. That's really interesting. In Boromir's viewpoint, is Frodo meant to look corrupt already? Is this supposed to project Boromir's what? Fear that Frodo is turning against them? I don't remember Frodo looking like this when we did this as Frodo in the Elrond Heaven instance. Very interesting. Yeah, look at that. Look at his face. Look at him all smudged. He's almost got the William Wallace going on there. You have seen no danger. If there are orcs about, they must remain on the other side of the river. Oh, that's interesting, Druid's Fire. There's no dread debuff, like in Rivendell when you approach Frodo. Right. Boromir is not feeling dread from the presence of the ring. That in itself, presumably a bad sign, right? Okay. You've just been walking. You know what you must do, but you are afraid. Okay. Sorry, let's see. Perhaps he can be convinced. I know Minas Tirith is endangered, but I cannot bring the ring there. You heard what Gandalf said, and Elrond, my road lies to the east into the fire. The ring cannot save Gondor. Its only power is the power to destroy our enemies. Yeah, and Frodo's carrying his sword in his hand? As if to make Frodo look more aggressive? I mean, doesn't Frodo look like a brigand in this picture? I would be really interested to see, like, parallel screenshots, right, of Frodo in Boromir vision and Frodo as we saw him when we were doing the Frodo session play. Anyway. Elves and wizards have already filled his head with nonsense. It is my burden and I will not give it to you. You are not yourself. The ring has influenced your words. Do not let it influence your actions as well. I have nothing more to say to you. He is a fool. He will doom us all. He will give the ring to Sauron. The ring cannot save Gondor. It must be destroyed. Wow, he is no match for me. I've got 160 grand. Oh no! He's doomed us all. Curse all halflings to death and darkness. Wow, so, I'm searching for the Hobbit. Is he in the bush? No, he's not in the bush. Is he in the leaf pile? Just like him. Pox on all hobbits. Is he in the log? Where is the ring? Anger passes like a sudden storm. Okay, guess I should return to camp. Here I am. So I'm looking around hoping to see somebody. What have I done? Well, tried to persuade him. Oh, no, I'm too far away. Oh, there go that halfling and the other halfling. Nice. It's an interesting interpretation. I'll have to think about that. It's taking seriously Boromir's first words to, or the early part of his conversation with Frodo, where he says like, so so they go on, that he has been taught to say that the ring can't help, right? He's been taught to say that by the elves and half elves and wizards, and Boromir says maybe it would be true for them, but the thing is, But the thing is that I always read that as rationalization from the ring at that point. Rather than an actual stable belief by Boromir that he retains throughout. But I suppose it's possible. I'm following tracks in the dirt. Great number of running feet. How many running feet went this way? I suppose I don't have to click on them all. Well, it's definitely rationalization likely about. What I'm trying to figure out is the extent to which we understand it to be the... So we know that the ring, one of the primary ways in which the ring communicates, right, affects those whom it affects, usually its bearer, is through that kind of rationalization process. We see Frodo doing this many times. Think about, when he sees the Black Rider in the Shire and is like, the advice of Gandalf seems absurd, and they are in the Shire, and they are still in the Shire. Where are the tracks? Up here? No? Don't see any tracks. Is it headed to the glade? Yeah, presumably. Yep. Yes, JJ, I think it's very likely that Boromir does not really have any comprehension of the real spiritual assault of the of the ring. Hey, I finally get to do something with this Uruk corpse. Oh, that's what I get to do. Oh, I'm running out of time, though. Well, I'll do it. Okay. Yeah, JJ, it is interesting that he imagines that destroy foes of Gondor. Orc Hewer, Sword Sweep, and the Horn of Gondor. Okay. Oh, hang on. Merry and Pippin. Ah, see, he knows their names now. So it was not that he doesn't know their names at all. It's just that he was not paying attention, right? The what we saw from them before in the other session play is not like his only awareness of their existence, but reviewing the fact that he's not thinking about them, right? Showing the intensity of his focus on Frodo, and thus making his acknowledgement of Aragorn's name even more interesting, right? Why is this dude purple? Hey, no problem. Okay. You were struck by the Hobbit's suddenly fierce countenance. Oh, my, oh, well, it's not even working. Interesting. Okay, they look so much like children, yet you begin to see some of the resolve of which Gandalf spoke. Excellent. Boromir's respect for them is growing. We have to find Frodo. If you had some cause in his disappearance, help us now and make it right. Oh, we're off. Straight towards the enemy. That's what. Oh, good. So let's see. Which one of these is? That's a single attack. That's a single attack. Ah, that's a multiple attack. That's a single attack. And of course, that one's a multiple attack. All right. Mary, hey, Pippin, you coming along? There we go. Okay, so let's see. Lilith asks, he thought of Aragorn's name because he thinks of him as a danger or even an ally. I think he must have seen him as a danger. But the kind of danger, is it because he thinks that Aragorn is, of all of them, most likely to see through what he is currently thinking? And so of the greatest threat in that sense? Uh-oh, this looks like the glade. All right. Keep at it, Merry and Pippin. Yeah, that wasn't so bad. Oh, from the other side. Hey, I'm fine. I'm like not even scathed here. I don't look well.
Look to yourself, halfling. Oh, yeah. They're barely even scratching me. I could do this all day long. I'm kind of thinking Boromir's a little OP here. Whew. Oh, blow the horn of Gondor? Okay. Yeah. Sure you can do it, Pippin. All right. Does the horn stun them? It totally should. Didn't do anything. That's lame. Oops. I got this. No problem. Come on, Pippin. I'm not tired. What are you thinking? Why do I look tired? I'm still at full health. No problem. I'll be here all week. Do I have a plan? My plan is just to keep mowing them down. Sound the horn again for good measure? Dude, I just did. Can you do it again? Oh, wait. There's a dude. The mark of the white hand on his armor is unmistakable. The Uruks are here for Frodo. No! No! Hey! Gah! Ooh, the arrows! Gah! Get me next to the tree. We have to go. Oh, man. Oh, Pippin charged in, right? There we go. That was good. All right. Well, I was doing pretty well till the archers came. Still at full health, but, you know, whatever. I understand. So, okay, yeah. So, Matt, it's interesting. The business about Pippin cowering in fear is fascinating because Merry is singled out as being, you know, responsible for remarkable courage, and he's the one who cuts off the hands of several as they're reaching for them. Now, it's Pippin who's telling that story, so I don't know that that necessarily means that Pippin was, in fact, doing less well in the fight. But it's an interesting interpretation. Oh, look at this. Some raining swordhounds. Sorry, all of a sudden I'm like actually under in thread here for the first time today. Okay, here we go. Good. So anyhow, so it's an interesting interpretation, like that there's an actual differential between Pippin and Merry's success in battle, but notice that they did kind of
make up for it a bit at the end by having Pippin be the one to, go charging forward and challenging the orcs there at the end. So they didn't merely turn Pippin into a coward, which is nice. I think that's nice. Okay. Anyway, excellent. So, let's see. Scour the beach near Parth Galen for clues and experience 2 hobbits. Okay. So I think I'm done with the glade now, right? Yeah, okay. Cool, so... All right. Oh, Rodwin's sword is presumably the one that I found and returned up there. Got it. Well, it's good. See, at first I thought that it must be Boromir's sword, and I'm like, Boromir didn't lose his sword. Why would they have Boromir's sword? Okay. All right. Well, I guess I will head up there next time. All right. I should run. School's over, but my kids are still in camp. I gotta pick them up at camp. But this whole parenting gig never really ends. But anyway, thanks everybody for joining me today. Really fun session. Got to do the Boromir session plays, which are a lot of fun. Some really interesting interpretive moments there. That is, interpretive moments by the quest designers, which is always really fun to talk about. I will be back next week. I should be here for Gryfflet for the next 4 or 5 weeks, actually, until the second Friday of August. So through the first Friday of August, I should be able to be here, as far as I know, every week. So get ready for some more regular Gryfflet adventures as I try to work my way through all of the Parth Galen quests and maybe descend in towards in towards Rohan here before too long. Anyway, thanks very much, everybody, and I will see you guys next week. Bye now. Thanks for joining in on my rambles around Standing Stone's brilliant digital adaptation of Tolkien's world. If you enjoy these adventures, please consider supporting this and other entertaining educational programming by donating at signumuniversity.org/fund.